So, greetings, friends and followers. This is Nurses Talking. I am Dale Barzy. As always, if you like what you see and hear, subscribe. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Here on Nurses Talking, we speak to nurses anywhere in the world and at any stage in their nursing journey. And today, I have the honor of welcoming Dr. Michaelene Holder-March. Dr. Holder-March, of course, is, and if I start to tell you about her, we can take 30 minutes. So I'm going to give you just a little snippet of who she is. She's a nurse, of course. She's a midwife. She is a doctor of jurisprudence. She is an international emergency manager, NHS digital clinical hazard expert, an author. She's been published in multiple journals and magazines. She's a sought after speaker. She's an entrepreneur, the founder of MHN Health Consultancy Limited. She's the sole founder of the Caribbean Global Awards. She sits on multiple boards and advising committees around the world. And as for her memberships, I'm going to give you some of them. The Associate of the Royal Society of Medicine, Association for Professionals in Infection Control and Epidemiology, European Society of Clinical Microbiology and Infectious Diseases, Infection Prevention Society, Conservative Foreign and Commonwealth Council, Institute of Directors, and the English Speaking Union. And that is probably 1% of who she is. So welcome, Dr. Holder-March.
Hi, how are you? How are you, Dale? It's just a privilege. You are amazing. And you talking about, but you are just amazing what you're doing. And hats off to you for bringing us, all the nurses and midwives, all clinicians around the world who, is in this field to bring them back to sort of share good golden nuggets. So thank you.
Well, I cannot thank you enough for doing this because you know what? Having read that, everybody knows exactly how busy you are already. We appreciate you doing this so much.
Thank you.
But, but first of all, though, we said you're a nurse. So what inspired you? What made you come to nursing?
I tell you what, I remember as a child, I grew up in Trinidad and Tobago, and I remember as a child seeing a cousin with a nice stiff white hat and pristine white uniform. And she was the love of all the area, and I just
Mhm.
used to look at her. Um, but it did not resonate on my heart then because I went into teaching very early
Mm.
because I was, I did very well in school. Then I went into teaching. Maths was my forte, but I went into that. And I came back. I went to Canada and I came back to Trinidad. I went to Canada to explore, and it wasn't for me. And I was only about 18, 19, that kind of age. And I came back, and my mom said, I think nursing will be the best thing for you to consider. And the first thing that came to me was that thought as a child that I will have this beautiful, 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 you know, the hat and everything. And to me, it was that part of it, the fashionable looking like that, that drew me to it. And then when I saw the Ealing School of Nursing in England, what they wore, with the nice cape and I
Yeah.
thought, yeah, that is super excited. Yeah, I can do that. Never thought about patient the aspect, the patient journey or anything like that. I
Yeah.
must say I was very fickle and I thought I would go there. But once I started and see humanity in a different light, I guess as an only child, I was sheltered from a lot of things. So being exposed to the frailty of mankind and seeing how that translate into wider relationships. For example, seeing the elderly or
Hmm.
anyone who don't have anyone coming to see them, but the
Yeah.
day that they die, you see all these people turn up because of the benefit aspect of what did they have
Hmm.
and the bickering and all of that. And to see really days like Christmas,
Yeah.
I was staying in the nurse's home and I have my uncle here, and I call him my uncle. But I couldn't believe that such intimate holidays that no one came before the
Nobody
holiday
came. Yeah.
or after the holiday to bring a gift or and then that actually made me more determined than ever to stay in healthcare and not branch. And if I do branch off, it's because of negligence. So, that's why I went on to do law and all the other parts and things that I've
Mm-hmm.
done. But fundamentally, I'm a really like still a roll up the sleeve girl. My husband still say, why you fall in the bed sheet like that? Why it can't be, why I have to make this thing square this it's in me. I can help it. It's a nurse's bed. And I think you're either born to be a nurse, or the other option is that you wasn't born to be a nurse, but you become the best nurse you can be
You
in
can
that.
be. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there are so many different type of nurses that we have.
Yes. Yes.
It's so beautiful. We have all type of nurses. Some of them are no longer patient facing, but it's incredible. But they play such a fundamental role.
Yeah.
And those are the ones who I would say develop all the things needed to shape the nursing field.
And
And then you have the ones who are born to be a nurse still cannot get away from the bed, even if you push them away. They were like, no, I want to stay right
this is
here.
where I need to be.
This is where I need to be.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that's really to answer your question. It is something that started off on personal um, ambition to wear the uniform, and then that's it. When you're young, you're just so fickle.
I know. I know. I know. I know. Uh, but you wanted this image. You had this image. When you actually got there, was it anything like you thought it was going to be?
I think I have to be honest with you. The first year was very difficult for me. And look, I'm in the UK and I grew up in a home construct whereby I could question everything. I was a little, I don't know how they managed with me. I personally would have been in jail if I had me as a child. Yeah. This is a child that questioned why the priest would drink first and then don't wash the cup and expect everybody to drink. And I got some good whipping for that, but I just couldn't get that around my head as a child. You know, um, a child who demanded to go to the school bazaar with just my running dirty clothes and slippers rather than dress up. And when I got there, everybody was smelling nice and looked pretty with ribbons in their hair. I wanted to come home. My mom said, no, you just enjoy yourself. And I couldn't believe she did that to me. So I grew up very much. So when I got into nursing here, I couldn't understand this concept of how you want me to work, how you want me to behave. And one particular nurse, ironic how life is, she said to me, I don't know why you are here. You should actually be working in a sewing shop or selling in a store rather than you being here. And I
Okay.
said, really? She said, yes. And that is the reason why she told me that is because they never showed, I was emptying a catheter.
Hmm.
I was a student nurse emptying a catheter out from a male gent,
Hmm.
and it fell on my clothes. And it's nowhere was I going to stay there with that clothes.
With
I
the
said, I'm going back into the nurse's home to change. And she
to
said,
change.
no, because there's not enough staff and you are supernumerary and you need to stay. And I said, well, I tell you what, it ain't happening. So left and really washed myself, get myself clean, and then put on a new uniform and threw that uniform in the bin. Little did I know it was uniform, I can't throw it in the bin. And came back and she told me, you need to not come back because you know what? You have no interest in here, and you're jeopardizing patients. Whatever. She was horrible. And I said, well, you know what? I'm going to the school. And she said, you what? I said, first, I'm going to the chief executive. And I want to find out if his daughter had pee on her, would he wanted to stay
Would,
there? And then when
mhm.
I'm there, I'm going to the school to ask the school what they want, a sheep or a lion. I'm gone. And then she said, well, you might as well stay then. Do you know what? Many years, I won't call her name at all, but many years later, we talking about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 5 years ago,
Mm.
I went on up this project. And my name is so distinct, isn't it? Michaelene Holder.
Yes,
Yeah. March is my married name, but you could, how many Michaelenes in the world, in the country?
Michaelene,
Yeah.
exactly.
And especially in the UK here, where we are smaller comparatively to the US or anywhere else. And she remembered me, but I thought I knew her face. She remembered me. And she was in the same place that we're working in. I came
Mhm.
to do a project and she came to do a project. And she couldn't help it. And she said, I thought one day I will see you. And I go, "Hmm?
Mm.
Oh, yes. You were the one who stood up in the, I'm the matron of the whole ward, and you stood up and put your arms akimbo and told me what you're going to do. I remember you. Yeah, so to be honest with you, it wasn't an easy road. Yeah, it wasn't an easy road. I met nurses who are of
Mhm.
my same background, meaning that the Caribbean or
Yeah.
African descent, and
Mm.
they just didn't know how to love you.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
still don't know how to do that really well in the workplace. I
Yeah.
think we are
Yeah.
frightened to open our arms and love each other
And love each other.
in the
That's
workplace.
true.
We
That's true.
fearful of how that is perceived, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's perceived as favoritism, whether it's perceived as so we avoid, we do the eye avoidance and we do the body avoidance,
For
and we keep
hands.
it extremely professional.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then there are those who don't care are monkeys and they come into the end of their retirement and they don't care. They're just looking for their 401k or whatever it is, here, their pension plan, and they just love you and they just want to groom you and they want to take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are those who are not from my ethnic background who would actually not quite sure who you are and how feisty you are and how you are so passionate about growth and whether they want to hold that back or they want to help to fertilize that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
am very fortunate that I've met quite a few who during that time who wanted to actually fertilize that.
Fertilize. Mm-hmm.
And and I've met those who wanted to crucify me in, in recognizing that I would be bursting out my seams, like I told you the story with the concrete.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they knew
Yeah.
that I wasn't going to stay on the layers of the earth and just be there. I was going to
Yeah.
burst out. And they saw that, you know.
Yeah.
You could
Yeah.
see that. It's just like a mother could see all her children and she could see who is going to go where and who's, you could see the pathway and the road. And so therefore, for me to say it would be very, I think it will not be correct. For people who are listening, especially the young people, I want to say in life, whether it's in your job or whatever, not everybody will be blowing the trumpet for you.
No.
And whilst they don't blow the trumpet for you, you have to learn that you are already a musical band. So you don't need the trumpet because you are
Yeah.
the whole band. So even if trumpets step aside, you still the organist, you
New
everything.
thing.
And having that self-assurance about who you are, it's very difficult for souls to actually hinder you. And what it is, they either jump in your band,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
whether
Yeah.
they want to or not, they will be in your band, looking like they're cheering along, but really and truly they're not there. But it works really well right now to be in your band.
Yeah.
And And then there are those who are really for you. They're not in your band, but they just sit back because they don't know how to play your organ. They don't know how to
Okay.
play your instruments, but they're sitting there and they are actually working for you silently. And
Mm-hmm.
those are the people that you really should try to build strong
Cultivate.
relationships with,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
they want the music to go on, but they will tell you, hey, look, it's a bit rusty here, but they want it to go on, and they will silently work with you. So nursing has been, I was a good, according to the students now that tell me that I was a good teacher. I was young, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just teaching them and was amazed that so many children didn't know 1 and 1 is 2, because that God Jesus, 1 and 1 is 2. How many times you get beat and ring around the S for that, and that multiple sign, two
Mm-hmm.
times 2 is 4. And when you have grandparents and grandmothers and uncles and aunts who actually will ask you random questions, 6 and 6, 6 times 6, 36 times it, and you don't know. You go, you don't know. We're wasting time. Better we plant a fig tree. Come on, truly, honestly, so you plant a fig tree is very much mental. This is, I said now, these things now children talk about mental abuse. Now, think about it. But I've planted a fig tree. You don't know 36 by 6. All this months you're going to school. You know what I mean? So it is, I'm making you laugh, but this is reality.
I will tell you why I'm cracking up on this.
You know, listen, any Caribbean or African people out there, to my Caucasian brothers and sisters, I have to be honest with you. Yeah, I'll be very honest with you. Childhood, whether you're in Ghana, Nigeria, wherever, and you're my age group, yeah,
Yes.
childhood, childhood was really, let me see you, but don't let me hear you. That's the first thing. Second thing, don't tell me I'm sending you to school, putting breakfast in your mouth, and you come back and you don't know your work. Yeah, yeah. There's only one place. 1, 2, 3. One. No matter what is one. So, um, you know, so I think nursing, it was a good foundation after teaching. Teaching was a good way of me actually understanding about getting a salary and that kind of stuff. But
Mm,
nursing was something that it actually built in me to understand humanity a bit better,
yeah.
to treat people
To
differently.
to treat people differently. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think what I like about nursing now is that it has transformed itself into so many different
Yes. Yes.
beautiful, beautiful shapes of care,
Yeah.
clinical and non-clinical care. And you can
Yes.
shape your speciality. I keep saying to people, don't tell me what they tell you you should be.
Yes. Yes.
Shape your specialty, but deal with patients, and you think that, you know what, patient voice is missing. You shape that. I will become a nurse for patient voice.
Hmm.
You think, okay, you know what, I don't think that the food that some of our people are getting,
Yeah.
be be that person, be that nurse who could actually be able to help the nutritionists,
Yeah.
the places that cooking, to be that
Yes.
specialist in regards to that. You there and you see, look for the gaps, no matter
Yeah.
what
Yes.
system there are, no matter what it is, what system. Yeah, no matter what system there is or systems, it doesn't matter. Processes, there's always a gap.
As always. Yes. Yes.
It might be a tiny, tiny kind of gap. You get into that gap quietly. Because if it's a nosy Parker like me and I hear about that gap, I'm coming home and
You're
map
in
it, and I'm in there. So please, shh,
there.
create that space. Don't let global and national perspective shape you as a nurse?
Mhm. Exactly, exactly, exactly. And we've got such a wide thing, such a wide thing. So I have a question for you, though. You are an accredited health informatics clinician. And we're in 2026 where, technology is everywhere. So how do you see digital transformation like changing nursing, changing the role of nurses in healthcare?
Then we should not be afraid of it. That's the first thing. We should embrace it
Mm-hmm.
and see it in four levels. It protects you and it protects the patient.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take a simple thing like electronic health records.
Yeah.
Before, I could interpret what I think you were going to say. I could actually subjectively say, Dale wrote this,
Mm-hmm.
but this is what she should have done.
Ah,
With the electronic health records, it's already there.
it's already there.
So you
Yep.
will be going through that process and adding, and it will actually alert you, according to some of the systems, that this was not completed, that was not done. So it's
Mm-hmm.
about embracing it. And when you embrace it, it's for you to do some self courses in regards to be one step of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's about you positioning yourself. And if you know me well, you'll know I love the word positioning. Because I always say, don't position me. If you want to have a quarrel with me, don't position me. So it's the
Mhm.
same thing I say in the opposite way. It's about positioning yourself with people who have the skill set that you can learn from.
Yeah,
The other
exactly.
aspect, so it protects you, it protects the patient.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing about it is that years from now, patient A says, I don't think Michaelene offered me good care. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
want to bring a negligence case. Again, if it's paper records, oh God, we can't find that piece of sheet of paper. I knew. Look, come on. I would have never wrote that. And I may have
Mm-hmm.
written that retrospectively, but my paper record. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the audit trail and the backup storage for that is there.
it's there.
It's there.
Mm-hmm.
As we move into the more AI world, someone asked me yesterday, do I think AI is replacing the role of academics and thought thinkers and and getting rid of jobs? And I said, of course it is getting rid of jobs, but it could never replace the thought thinker.
Yeah, exactly.
What it is, it takes your thoughts once you speak it and it fertilizes that into something that can be shredded into bits.
Mm-hmm.
It cannot survive without fresh information,
Without, yes.
or else it will be regurgitating the same ham and cheese. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, but you embrace it because it speeds up the work. It gives you a good basis for a contract or anything that you could understand, but you still need a skill expert to review that to see if it aligns with where you are going.
Yes.
What I would like to see, especially for ethnic minorities, that they become digital experts in nursing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that is in regards to gerontology, obstetrics, cancer, and specialist things like deteriorating patient sepsis and all of that. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's really important because once you actually get trained in that, when big companies, pharmaceuticals, and all these companies are developing products, you will be able to be one of their experts because you have the skill set, the clinical skill set, the digital skill
It's
set.
digital.
You're
Mm-hmm.
able to give them guidance in what they're doing and how they are plotting this. And you'll be able to say, no, I think that needs a drop down box. Please, please, please don't make that just one line. Come on.
Yeah.
You know, you'll be able to get in there and be part of that and to see the outcome of that product and you were part of that is a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So coming back to it, digital is here. The advancement of digital technology would change. AI is not going anywhere, but we're going to have a new system very soon. AI will become of the old very soon. Yeah. And it's about us taking time to work quickly and advance with it. Don't
Yeah.
fight. And don't think, oh, when you get a letter from someone, an email from someone, oh, that AI wrote it. Yeah, great AI work it because they just saved 20 minutes of their time.
Yep. That's right. That's right. They did. That's right. They did. And as you said, we need to so embrace it because that is what puts us, as you so very rightly say, in a position to be part of the development process of other things. So far, for much too long, we have left the development of things and the innovation and stuff to other people. And then we complain that, well, it was developed for us, but not by us. We have
Yeah,
the
and then you get
opportunity
the biases
now.
out. So if you have someone else, a group, another group is creating um, tools that's going to
Yeah.
represent us. If you go on Google or any of these
Yeah.
big things and you pull a black male, what you might see as a description or as an image will shock you, or even
Mhm.
as a black woman. So therefore, and if you ask some of these what it is, the descriptor might shock you. But if we are not there to actually help
Yeah.
change the bias context, yeah,
Yeah.
then, even I was doing something and I was doing something with AI and for the Caribbean Global Youth. When it pulled up an image for me, I said, no, this doesn't represent the Caribbean at all. I need
Mhm.
it to be much more sophisticated, much more da da da. So AI has now learned that actually there are layers to this. She's looking
Yeah.
for a sophisticated corporate image for the
Yeah.
Caribbean. And it was able to do that. If I didn't, I will take the tambourine and the shick shack 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 and the beach and the dancing, and that will be it. And
Yeah.
it's about us doing three things. We need to empower our children to
Yeah.
embrace digital technology.
Yeah.
We need not to be afraid of it, but we need to do courses. There's so many courses available, and we need
Yes.
to get them there.
Hmm.
We must not let age be a barrier to become for digital poverty.
Yeah.
Must not. If you can't afford a laptop, most phones now have all of the software on it for you to actually practice what you
Yeah.
need. I would say just practice and be safe,
Yeah.
in regards to the video, the cameras, and all that kind of stuff. But really and truly coming back to the profession career, it's a great time. It's a great time. It's like mangoes on a tree. I'm so Caribbean, aren't I? It's like mangoes on a tree, ripe mangoes on a tree. If you hang around too long, the birds is gonna take it, or somebody's gonna come and pick it, and then guess what? You will have an empty tray. So you
Yeah.
need to actually getting there very quickly, and you get going. You get going. Start small. You don't have to start, you don't have to
Yeah.
start up there. I am not a software expert, yeah, but I know when something it's risk averse. I could
Yeah.
tell that will not work.
Not,
Yeah.
mhm.
And again, I was called into this from midwifery. And I'm really pleased that a well-known lady here who was given to country one of the biggest contract when we was running our connecting for health. She embraced my thoughts and gave me an opportunity to do some great work. Um, and I respect her for that. I respect her so much for that, and others who actually introduced me to the course to do
Mhm.
NHS digital courses. And it has so much up, it opens so many doors and windows for you.
Yes.
Not only
Yes.
doors, but windows.
Windows too.
Stomach, blow the roof out. I've been to Texas, I've been California. I spoke on lots of platforms for that. And it opens doors for you. So do not compartmentalize yourself. This is a great time for learning about what IT, information technology, is about. It's a great time to learn about the beauty of data. Don't
Mhm.
hate maths, but think about data now. You can actually put in AI. What is this? What do you see that I don't see? What is the varices? What is this? What are the points here? Where is this trajectory going? You could actually ask and get some information that you would learn. So get yourself on point and embrace digital technology.
And
It will be
embrace it.
safer practice.
Yeah, yeah. It's here to stay. Might as well embrace it.
Yes, safer practice.
You, you're, you're such a global, international person. But I do have to ask because you work along multiple healthcare systems globally. And so I want to know any lessons that we think the systems can learn from each other. If you could identify just one thing we could all learn from each other, what would it be?
I think learning culture
Hmm.
and sharing, learning and sharing. Ah,
Okay.
learning and sharing.
Learning and
Learning,
sharing.
learning from what went wrong and learning from what went right,
Hmm.
and then
Yeah.
sharing it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see, you see, I'm writing a book, Clinical Assurance Dividend. It's going to be on Amazon very soon. And it's about this same sort of concept that unlike other organizations, healthcare is 24 hours.
Yes.
It's 24 hours non-stop. We don't pull down the shutters, 24
Hmm.
hours. And within that, it has become so busy for nurses, clinicians, the carer, the person who is sweeping, cleaning. It's become so busy because of the demand and
Yeah.
the acuities. And therefore, people don't have time to learn and to share. And I think that is the downfall of all healthcare organizations. In the third world, first,
Hmm.
it is a problem. Because if you cannot share what is good, not only in your organization, but globally share it,
Yeah.
then people are always reinventing the same wheel.
True.
And
True.
what's the reinventing the same wheel? Incidents are happening, serious incidents are happening. The same type of root cause analysis is being explored.
Hmm.
This type
Hmm.
of serious investigation, the same, because that allocated time just for learning has never been an agenda
Yeah.
by any major healthcare
Sharing.
organization to say, look, on a Thursday, I just want to hear about learning and sharing.
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you learn today?
Yeah. Exactly.
I learned that this Foley catheter 12 it's this company that produces it. I don't think it is as flexible as it ought to be. I learned
Hmm.
that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Maybe other healthcare organizations have picked up the same, but they've
Not the
never shared.
same thing.
So that's one part of it, the learning and sharing. The other thing about it is that we have excellence. I like that word for my Caribbean Global Awards. We have
Hmm.
excellence within our healthcare community. From Jamaica, from all. So I'm coming back into the ethnic bowl now. We have some dynamic people, innovators, global innovators, change
Hmm.
makers, and they hold a precious drawer full of learning and sharing. And there's no place for them to actually share it to or who or with, because there is not to say, well, we want to connect that theater nurse in Rwanda with that theater nurse
Yes.
in Dominica,
Yes.
that theater nurse in Washington,
Yeah.
with that theater nurse there, and say, hey, what are you learning over there,
Yeah.
girl, that I could introduce here
Hmm.
that will make a difference to save
Yeah.
our lives?
Yeah.
So we end up being solo artists, solo performers.
Yeah.
Within the constraint of that organization that we're working for and mindful of. And when that's why I love what that's why you got a Caribbean Global Awards, because you're breaking, you see, that's what I talk about. You saw a gap and you broke it. That's
Mm-hmm.
about bringing now people who think that, hey, you need to tell your story so that people
Yeah.
can think differently.
Mm-hmm.
So that learning and sharing is critical to our advancement in healthcare. It's critical for professions, and it's critical for our people to benefit from our learning and
Yeah.
sharing.
Yeah. 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 You in talking just now, you mentioned the Caribbean Global Awards, which is where I was heading anyway. So I want to know, we'll have about 3 questions for that. Number one is what made you see it? And I guess that's the gap. What is your big dream for it? What inspired you to create it? What is your big dream for it? And what impact? I guess that's the same as the big dream. I was going to ask you what is your big dream for it, but it's the same as asking you what impact do you really want it to have? So,
Okay, so I think I ought to start from a vision.
mhm,
It's really important that we all take a moment and breathe and say, what is my vision for this month? What is my vision for this day? What is my vision for this hour?
mhm,
What is my vision for this minute? What it is, and can it be materialized into something? And when you come to that juncture, there's 2 things. You're either doing it purely for profit, you're doing it for social development, or you're doing it for fame.
mhm,
So you have to be quite clear about that, because these 3 roads are completely different. You could have a lot of profit, but you don't have fame. You may have the fame and become well known, but you don't have the
mhm.
profit.
Yeah,
Or you could take the road of social improvement for a target population or a target group. And so for me, it was my target group, because first, I'm unapologetically Black. Don't make any bones about that. And so therefore, I realize, in the scheme of things, the Reuters Awards and all the big awards that you hear, there's lots of other awards. But
yeah,
my vision was the big awards, the Reuters, the
mhm,
Economist, the New York Times, the big awards. And as I looked through it, I was thinking, wait a minute, pause. Where are the geniuses that look like me?
yeah.
I don't see them.
You don't see them.
Where is the man who discovered the flat screen television? Where's Dr. Cropper in this? Where's, you're starting to ask real questions.
Yeah,
And then I said, but if they're hidden, we talk about the next generation and the next generation and the next generation should do better and the next generation and the next. But if they don't see these exemplars,
yeah,
then what do you expect from them?
yeah.
If they don't see these people who has, my theory about the concrete, and I'm gonna say
Yes.
who don't
Yeah.
know. I was saying to Dale before we started this that everybody has their concept. But for me, as you walk down the street and you come across and you're on a pavement, heavy pavement, you will come across a grass, a flower, or something that forces way through that crack and come up, isn't it? That's the challenges we go through to come up, isn't it? most of us.
Yeah.
From the ethnic minority, we really fight our way through these layers until we can get a bit of glimpse of the sun. And sometimes you just got there and someone will just step on you, but they don't kill the seed of ambition. And I decided there and then that my brothers and sisters who are excellent and exemplars will not be hidden. They'll be celebrated. And as you know, there's no cost for this.
Yeah.
We don't say to you, nominate yourself and pay us money. We don't do that. I respect all
Yeah.
those who do that, but we don't. We're not interested in that. What I'm interested in is your expertise
Mm-hmm.
and what you have to offer for the table. If you decide to come to our gala, you have to pay for your meal. But if you want to stay home, we send you the certificate. What we're interested in is what makes you excellent, what makes you stand out globally that we need to tell the world about you.
Better one. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's why we have the Caribbean Global Institute. It's the first in the Caribbean to give letters after the name. We were so proud to be in the House of Lords and for Lord MP to get the letters after his name. And for everyone to be given, and they were so proud, and people are using the letters after their name, which is
Yes.
very, very, we are really proud of it. We're really proud of we just have MOU with Dreamology Pictures,
Mm-hmm.
who is we are very touched by that. We have Thomas Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the Gandhi Mandela Foundation, GPHU, Global Public Health University. So some of the MOUs that we've signed, we are just moving forward in embracing so many other different organizations. And this is the year of the diaspora. So it's not only Caribbean Global Institute, we are bringing in the diaspora, and at the moment we have probably about 60 something nominations from Africa and across the world.
Mm-hmm.
I am really proud to say that this year, the total number of nominations before coming on here is 262 globally from China, Africa, New Zealand, Australia, and Papua New Guinea, and Latin America.
Awesome.
It
Awesome.
makes
Awesome.
me want to cry.
So,
And our Latin brothers and sisters, it was so lovely that we have our ambassador, Professor Maria San Diego, who was able, Valentine,
mm-hmm.
who was able to translate exactly what it is you wanted to say and for
Mm-hmm.
us to get that nomination. So nobody's going to be left behind in regards to nominations. And the impact is for the youth. The impact is for teachers and educators there to be able to use these exemplars as signposts for greatness. The future, the future is really how that will shape itself to be. What we do is that we get the right ingredients, we stick to the plan, we stick to the mission, and we put it in the oven. Sometimes it will fall flat, but it's still edible. And sometimes it's a glorious big cake. We share it. No matter what happens to it when it gets in the oven, the outcome will be that the right ingredients go in there. So we're not looking for perfection. When people speak to me, I said, I'm not looking for perfection. What I'm looking for is that our exemplars, no matter where you are in the world, must be highlighted. And for those who have done so much that you can't contain it, they'll be in our hall of excellence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And as we talk in here now, you know about Nancy Mataya, the
Mm-hmm.
young Haitian um, deputy mayor from Coral Springs who was
Mm-hmm.
tragically lost alive.
Yeah.
We are going to celebrate that. Out of that
Mm-hmm.
dark road, we
Oh,
have
yeah.
decided to celebrate that. We've contacted the mayor, and the mayor contacted the family, and she's going in the hall of excellence.
Of
So
Hall of
out of
Excellence.
that Eva, she's going in the hall of excellence because for her age and all the things that she's done, she must be celebrated.
Yes.
And she will also be part of the Caribbean Global Institute posthumously. She will receive her award, and her mother and sister is coming to collect it. So when you talk about the impact, that is what I'm talking about. that a young girl, a young boy will be able to say, look, this lady at this age was able to
Yes.
become a deputy mayor for a place like Coral Springs, and I can't
Yes.
do that now.
Yep. And I
Despite
can do that
the
now.
tragic tragedy attached to it, I can do that now. And
Yeah.
therefore, we'll be celebrating her on September the 26th.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. I have two
And you
more
are an
questions.
ambassador. You are an
I
ambassador
am
for Dominica.
ambassador.
Yes,
Montserrat.
we wait for Montserrat. Sorry, we are waiting for your nominations to come true.
Did you see my youth nominations?
Oh yeah, but we need you for the adult as well.
I have three. I have some. I have some. I have some. I have some. Posthumous ones coming.
Okay, good.
Plus, I have, live ones. So I have two questions before we go. One, so one thing I want to ask you, and I think I have some ideas here, but what personal values would you say have sustained you along this journey? Because your journey has been, you told me the other day that you just had a big birthday. When I think about it, what you have done along this journey in this time, is for someone who has had twice that many years, maybe. So what sustains you?
Fate.
Yeah.
So, fate is something that is spoken of and is very individualized. But fate for me doesn't survive without trust. So I have to trust that my fate
Mm-hmm.
will take me through that choppy waters. So my trust is deep in my spiritual belief as a Christian, or whatever belief that you are in. That's fine. I believe that trust in that most spiritual high
Mm-hmm.
shifted. So I trust that. I trust that this journey I am on is what was ordained for me to do. Now, the faith part of it is that I strengthen my faith and that I would deliver that to the best that I could because it was an order. You see, that's how, that my life, I'm very complex. Yeah. So I have a threefold thing that works me through. So people say, oh, Michaelene, you're up late, you're working, you're doing so many things because they don't understand how I think. I believe that I have to have trust.
Mm-hmm.
The trust is what gives me the assurance to be who I am, the queen I am,
Mm-hmm.
to celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I have faith that whatever it is that I believe and faithfully think that it is to be, as long as it's alongside the trust beliefs, then my belief is what you would call cemented
Mm-hmm.
in the doctrines of my grandparents and all those who have taught me. For example, Psalm 51 and Psalm 139 and Psalm
Mm-hmm.
131 and Psalm 100 and
Mm-hmm.
Psalm 27. I call them my pillars, like a house.
Yes. Yes.
They're my pillars. So as I bounce off challenges, I know I have Psalm 27. When the challenges get really dark for me, I can bounce off Psalm 91. I'm not afraid of the arrow that flieth by day. And then when I feel that I am not as special, this USB, unique, special one,
Yeah.
I bounce off 139.
Okay.
Yeah. And 139 talk about every grain of hair on my head
On your
and
head.
how
It's
beautiful I am.
numbered.
knew me before I was even created in my mother's womb. It's so
Mm-hmm.
powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And then I could bounce off the Psalm 100 that would talk to me about giving thanks. In all things, give thanks and praise. So basically, those three things, my trust, my faith, and my belief, are my anchors.
Yeah.
And that's why when you hold it like that, then humility becomes part of you. So when people calling out like you, all the things I've done, I see it. Yes, I've done that. But at the end of the day, I am no better than the man who's cleaning the streets. Because if he
Yeah.
doesn't clean the street,
You
I'm
would
the
have to.
and he has more value, as much value, and he
Yeah.
matters.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure Darren wouldn't mind me calling. He has this wonderful legal brain, and he um, put on Facebook this Caribbean cleaner who's been working for the government for a long time, council, whatever, and has been cleaning, and everyone admire his personality. He's so dedicated. He's amazing. And I said, hey, 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 that's our unsung hero right there.
Yes. Yes.
That I said that I'm sorry. All who tick the box for unsung heroes, let me tell you, the spot has gone. It's that man. And we will pay for him to come and have a meal. He will not pay for his meal. He came from Jamaica, I think, or one of the islands many, many years ago, and he's been doing that job consistently, getting up, rain, sun, winter, whatever, and just doing it. And everybody loves him. And the mere idea that Darren took that picture, it's just spoke to me again. And I trusted
Mm-hmm.
that by faith, that will actually make him realize that he is appreciated more than he would ever know.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. 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 I love it. I love it. I love it. So, the very last question. I hope maybe it's the last one. I want to know though. We talk. I look again at all that you do, and one of the things when I look at you and I look at your brilliant smile, and how you present, one of the things that strikes me is that despite all that you do, there is a way that you take care of yourself. And you just mentioned some of it about your faith and all of that. But what do you do to take care of you?
Me time.
Your time.
I paint. If I'm in a dark, listen, we all go through dark spots and all that kind of.
Yes.
And I paint. I paint, and the painting will tell you how exactly how I feel. I am a word person, so
Mhm.
I will compete with online Scrabble. I'm very strategic thinking, so I don't always see things. And blame my mother, Hazel. I don't see thing A, B, C, D, E. I'm always looking outside of the box. Poor my mother. So strategically, I play a lot of chess to help me think outside the box. I also believe that if you haven't played chess before or drafts and you play it online, it's good for your brain cells as well.
You say, mhm.
Health-wise, I would say to anyone that if I could think back, I think I had a lot of lessons to learn. And for people who are listening to me, diabetes, blood pressure, all those things, they love our Black people.
Mhm.
How many calories in a piece of yam? I could eat yam all day, yeah? How many calories is in fried plantain? You fry plantain, girl, it will be finished.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me a good roti.
Mhm.
Plenty goat. How many calories in that again? Macaroni cheese. Come on. You know, our food, you see, a nurse out there, we need to get one of you to start doing a Caribbean and African calorie counting book, yeah? And you see, that's on
You
my brain.
see, there's a gap.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So for me, I should have walked on a healthy path a much earlier time than I did now.
Mhm.
But I have a good friend called Sharon. I call her Sharon P. But Sharon. I've got many friends called Sharon, but this particular one, she's an accountant. And her skin is impeccable. She is, can I tell you, and I discovered she's really into natural things, you know. She wouldn't touch process or whatever. And I'm
Yeah,
learning to do that. So I'm learning to align physical health because my mental health is very good because I take care
yeah,
of it. But I'm learning to align the two. And Haagen-Dazs and other ice creams do get in the middle sometimes. A glass of wine, all that stuff sometimes gets in the middle. I can't, I'm human,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Um, but I'm still moving and aligning myself to that. And there's something else I wanted to say to you as well, is that no man is an island.
Truth.
And, you know, no man is an island and relationships that is healthy, even though
Healthy.
it's slip from the groove, that's okay. It means you learn something more about them and they learn something about you, but the
Yeah,
foundation has been healthy, and even though it's slip,
yeah,
you both should be strong enough to say we had a good thing,
yeah, yeah.
and it slipped, but we need to get back into that groove. It will
You
take
get,
a little
mhm.
bit of time, but we need to get back into that groove. And having those relationships around you will help you to have that part of health as well. So my Aunt Bev, who is all the way in New York City, and she is a nurse herself. She would tell you, I call her some ungodly times of the morning because it's here. And we will pray.
Mhm.
We will pray. She
Yeah,
will she will take me down that road of prayer, you know. And likewise, I ring my mom like this morning and I wanted to tell her some good news. She
yeah,
celebrates the news that, as you can see, we all over the world, we all over the US.
yeah.
Okay. And she said, excuse me, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. But
Oops.
but you see, that is about has nothing to do with how qualified I am or whatever it is. It has nothing to do with it. What it has to do with is I'm putting you back in line. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, girl. I'm your mother. Don't
Yeah.
call me 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't work for you. It's like my husband. My husband would say, "Excuse me, who are you talking to?" I sorry, love. I don't work for you. And then
You.
you get so relationships are really important for you in your growth to never
Mhm.
ever become so absorbed in the you and forget about the we in your life.
Yes.
All the we,
Yes.
your
Yes.
animals, your pets, your we.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about that, health for me, mental health, the we health, I call it. That's why I wanted to talk about the physical
Yeah.
health. So I have three health. Anybody speak to me, I say, listen, sweetheart, I've got three types of health. I got a we health. In that is my aunt, my uncle, family, mother, all of that, husband, all
Yeah.
of that, and my dearest of friends is in that we health.
That group. Mhm.
And then I have my physical health and my mental health. Once you have those three things, you're good to go.
You're good to go. You're good to go.
But the we health can crush you very quickly. They could tell you some things that you think, mm. Let me just breathe on that one.
You really need that we help because sometimes we kind of get too big for our boots, you know what I mean? And we need those people to like, yeah, hold
Yeah.
on.
To bring you back down to earth, isn't it? Crush you right back down to earth. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'll get up and dust myself. The phoenix shall rise. But Dale, the most important thing about this journey, this nursing journey, midwifery journey, seeing life born, seeing the newborn,
Hmm.
not knowing that newborn journey. You look at the mom and you just hope for the best,
Yeah.
and you just hope for that newborn journey, that newborn journey will be healthy and good
Yeah.
and full of all the blessings. And as you care for someone, despite their situation, especially carers who are going into homes and stuff like that, remember one day you will be needing care.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
what you offer on the plate, what you offer on the plate, be very mindful that
Yeah.
you might get a
It's
bucket.
what you're gonna have to eat.
You might get a bucket. How you treat that person
Yeah.
and what you give them on a plate, remember when you get older, you might get a bucket. Either you get a bucket of love
Yeah.
or you get a bucket of something else. And that's written. How you treat people is how you will be
You
treated.
will be treated. Yeah. On that note, thank you so very much for this fantastic conversation. I have loved every single minute of it. Thank you so much.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you for being the Caribbean Global Awards ambassador for Montserrat, because we didn't have anybody, and
Yeah.
it's wonderful. Um, and there's so much that we are about to do, and I hope that you will be on this journey with us. As
Mhm.
it's very embryonic, although it seems like it isn't, but it is very embryonic. It's just under 5 years. Uh, to your listeners out there, I want to say to you that every moment matters,
Mhm.
and no matter what situation you are in your job, whether you're being bullied, harassed, you find it difficult coping, take some time and map out your journey and break free.
Yeah.
Break, yeah.
Yeah.
And the last thing I like to your listeners to know is to at least want you have a whole day, and just take a second out of that day and find a quiet spot and just say, I am beautiful. I am worth.
Yeah. Yeah.
I I am amazing. Just just find a corner, just you and you alone, with your all nighty and barefoot and the wig on the hair and all of that, and
Yeah.
just see yourself.
Yeah.
I'm dynamic. I'm beautiful.
Yes.
I'm all of that. Cheese, butter, everything I am.
I am. I am. Yes.
Thank
There is
you.
one of
Uh-huh.
my favorite songs. The one line from it, I will tell you. I love the whole song, but one of my favorite lines in that song says, I'm so powerful, I don't need batteries to play. I love this.
I love that. I love that. Oh my God, we must share that. That is so powerful. Ooh. Oh, say that again. Say that again. That's
Yes.
I am what? I am so
I'm so
powerful.
powerful. I don't need batteries to play.
Hey, that is it exactly. That captures it right there. So yeah, yeah. So I
Yeah.
think I think definitely we need to do that, because some
Yeah.
of us will pass days on and we've had no human touch,
Yeah.
no human engagement. We on our own, feeling
Yeah.
isolated, and the only time we meet people is when we go to work.
Yeah.
You find that time and hug yourself. Girl, if you feel to eat some whatever, you treat yourself. You hear?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And we
Thank you.
welcome male nurses too. Huh? I
Yeah.
know I'm gonna get some haters. Male nurses, we loving you, especially our black male nurses going into the nursing profession. We
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Michaelene. Thank you so much. I appreciate this.
thank you for having me. God bless everyone.
Bye. My pleasure. My pleasure.